Okay, so Terry, excuse me, I'm sorry, Hunter. The thing that we're looking at here is something that is very different. It's a case that's very different from everything that we've ever had to deal with this kind of crime scene. And I'm curious, 3 hours of deliberations. There are people who thought this jury was going to come back in 30 minutes. They didn't. And I'm curious, what do you think they were holding on to in the prosecution's case? And maybe were they given a little pause of something that the defense said in their closing argument?
Having been in a courtroom and waiting for verdicts, sometimes they've come back in less than an hour, and sometimes they've come back in days. This is not shocking. We're talking about jury hearing a week and a half of horrific evidence. There are 7 counts they have to consider. I think any hardworking jury, the foreman is going to go over the charge with the jury, the questions, and by the time that process happens, it's not surprising. It's the next morning, and they want to present the jury's verdict at that time. 2, 3 hours is really just getting the process going, especially in a case with so many charges, such horrific crimes, and a lot of elements to the charges. So I don't really see it as that long.
And And Imran, we look at this, hard to know what the defendant's thinking, but when you looked at his reaction to the verdicts being read, what do you think? You think he was surprised? Do you think the defense was surprised? And how could they be surprised given the fact they didn't put on much of a case?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really tell what's going on through Joel Guy Jr.'s head, and you've seen that sort of stark expression with those wide eyes throughout this trial. He's been, sitting in court with that expression. I would say throughout the duration of this trial. So I really don't know what's going through his head. You didn't really see any emotion on Joel Guy Jr.'s face. And what is the defense thinking? Well, I think the defense attorney will, if they're having a realistic view of their case and their defense, if you will, knew that this verdict was coming, and it was going to be coming either in a quick deliberation or a deliberation of about 3 hours, like what we see here. But I think there's no surprise here. But we do see
Right.
the emotion on the family's face, which, keep in mind, Jesse, is Joel Guy Jr.'s family. It's really a tragic
I know.
family
That's what
occurrence here.
makes this so ugly and disturbing to think about. Now, talking about that, we plan to hear from victim impact statements. I've got word that the judge is back on the bench. So let's hit a quick break. And when we come back, hopefully we'll be live.